financial report.
Oh,
Any questions?
I had a question. I knew that was. Okay. Blue Book is in here several times.
We look,
Uh-huh.
we buy, materials for, the lab, water system, for water treatment and stuff like
Uh-huh.
that, for, chemicals and,
Oh, okay.
they sell just about everything.
Oh, that's the name of the company.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
U.S.
When I was a
USA Blue Book.
librarian, we bought a blue book every year that had to do with the laws. And I thought, well, that's expensive. Oh. And Mercer Manor, is that a person?
That's the folk that, student, pardon me.
Okay, that is a person there.
Yeah,
Okay,
it was on.
okay,
It's
thank
out
you.
of the room, so
Okay.
Water sewer report.
On the sewer side, we finished the rehab project. They're actually putting meters in now to do, recheck the I&I to see how well the project that we did, how well it, is gonna help us out. The monitors are actually going in this week. I seen them here this week, so they're gonna be putting those monitors in. They monitor how much I&I, or how much flow compared to last year at the same time we did, at the same time. We've been winterizing, we're tired of lines being broke, so we're winterizing. We did have to spend a little money on that. We've been checking every meter box with meters that we read. We drive by, we don't get to look at them every time, so twice a year we get out. We go through there, make sure that they're covered. We're actually putting some insulation over the meters this year, trying to ward off any possibilities of freezing or anything like that. We actually finished up our sanitary survey for the sewer and the lab. They wanted us to paint the cabinets and everything. That was the only thing we got checked on as far as something wrong. So we had some bad weather days, so we ended up painting them. We also, the big EQ, we have not had to utilize it, so we opened the hatch and actually cleaned the floor in there, so it almost looks like new in there. A while back, I did say that we're gonna have to change out those catalytic bars, the sacrificial bars. We can see those now, we know where they're at, we know how many we need. I'll have to get another estimate on that, because it's been 6 or 8 months ago that I came to you and said we needed to do that. What that does is, if the corrosion eats those bars instead of working on your $1 million tank. Water, we've been winterizing, like I said there, changing out the broken meter boxes, the broken lids. We're gonna keep a tab on those. Some of these are just reckless homeowners sometimes, and they're like $45, $50 a piece, so we're gonna start charging homeowners that are abusing that. We've been out exercising all of our valves, which we're supposed to do twice a year. We finally got the time and the manpower to start doing that. We've been doing that for every valve that we've got. One other thing, we had 2 major leaks the day before Thanksgiving. One on Coop Road and one right here at Fosterville Road. The one at Coop Road was a deteriorated, pipe that just deteriorated, so we fixed it. The one here at Coop Road, at Fosterville Road, I don't know how long it's been leaking. It was a pretty bad leak. When they put that system together, they did not use a gasket. So finally it has gotten loose enough and it started leaking, and it was leaking a pretty good amount. We apologize to everybody. There's some people that didn't understand that we didn't do it on purpose, so. We did get it fixed and get it back on for Thanksgiving, so hopefully nobody's turkey dried out. Signs. I need to know what signs we all want for the alley. We had talked about that, I wasn't here, Ronnie brought it up at the last meeting. We need to keep the big trucks, they've tore our ADA pad off of this entrance to the alley over here. Just tore off the trucks backing in there, it's making a muddy mess. So I need to know what verbiage you want to put on there.
$5,000 fine.
No trucks allowed. We also want to put them so that they can't get on Maple Street and High Street. We have some trucks that are trying to come through there.
Do we even know the weight of vehicles that can drive on the alley?
I don't. I do not.
Sure had to know.
50,000, I mean, 50,000 pounds. 50,000 pounds. The gas truck will be fine. 50,000 pounds. We made sure it was ready for our gas truck, nothing else. Which is 30,000.
Well, I would think the sign, and this is just my opinion, it'd be a good idea for a sign to indicate the weight limit. I mean, you see that on roads and areas all the time.
I don't think a straight truck will bother it as much if the semi came in and was twisting around. I'm afraid that it could be 30,000 pounds and it's still gonna tear it up.
Yes, we would, I think that would cause damage all the way around the trucks, not to mention the fact that they've been doing damage
Especially you
for
can't keep
years.
on the road,
Yeah.
and he splits off on the side.
They've done so many things already.
So I would say no tractor trailers, no trucks over 30,000 pounds. Something like that. Is it in writing? Can I ask, is it in writing guaranteed for 50,000 pounds?
We have, you know what, I didn't print that off, but I have something that shows what they're,
Okay.
what they're waiting for.
Good.
Yeah.
That way, if something happens. The other signs going up Peacock, up to Maple, High Street, over here, we just put a sign up there, no large trucks, no big trucks, or no semi-trailers, or something like that. Of course, if there's some construction going on, there's nothing we can really do about that, to keep the meandering traffic down. I think we need to do that.
Do we have any more 15-mile-an-hour signs?
I don't know if we do.
Okay, the reason I ask is, even though I would think it's obvious with the signs at both ends of Peacock and all that people would know not to go 15 miles an hour, but they still love to take that curve at higher.
Oh, they're jumping the tracks here. Just last night I seen them. And I know where they're going. They're going right up here. I think that's all I have on the water and sewer.
Will you add, if you can, the speed radar, whatever you call the sign coming in as bent out this way?
That one has to come down. They're changing that pole out anyway. So that's what I've been waiting on for them to answer me. It came up on an 811 to mark it, and I was gonna fix it, but then if it has to come down, I was gonna fix it when it was down and put it back up. But it is coming down. It is bent, and I'm trying to get them to move the pole back,
So
because that's not the first time that's been hit by a load of hay or something like that coming down the road. Car, hit it, yeah. It just,
Kinda gets narrow-
it kind of
narrower
draws
right
you
there.
over there, yeah, it narrows down and it kind of draws you over. So, that's it.
police report.
You wanna go first, officer? Okay. For November, we had 13 calls, 4 were medical, 9 fire related, 2 public services, structure mutual aid, a brush grass fire, 2 MVAs, motor vehicle accidents, 3 false alarms. We ended up at Webb and Cascade. And I'm not sure where the other one was it both Cascade? I couldn't remember. We did the parade at the Veterans Parade. We took a truck. We took the junior firefighters and our 75-year banner, and we had them stretch it out, and they walked along. Actually, we put it on the truck on that one, on the front of the truck. We just did the Christmas parade, and they walked in front, the juniors all walked in front of it and had their jacket on, showing it off. So it was pretty cool. I'm going to give you one of these. So one or two. It's thick paper, I guess. I would like to see all the board members come to this. This is a 75th anniversary this year for us. We're gonna do a pancake supper, a food and toy drive. Everybody in town, I would like to see a lot of people from town because it is their fire hall. We are going to be doing a $10 plate for all you can eat. And if you can bring a non-perishable food and or unwrapped gift for someone birth to 17.
Would you take them?
We will, we are doing,
Often somebody else is better at selecting it for you.
yes, we are doing one complete family. That's the mom, dad, the food, the whole 9 yards. And we are doing 3. We ended up doing 3 because the schools didn't have anybody to pick up 2 of the kids. So we picked them up. So we're doing 3. I hope it's okay. We're gonna have pancake, sausage, milk, juice, and coffee. We're also gonna have, we have about 45 fire extinguishers that were donated from MTSU that were out of date. Most people have never shot off a fire extinguisher, don't know how to do it. We're having an instructional program during that time. And people will have a little bonfire out back that they can operate a fire extinguisher. Everybody needs to know how to use a fire extinguisher. So that's gonna be pretty cool.
So it starts at 5, when should it?
5 to, it's usually 5 to 7 is what we thought we was gonna do, 5 to 7.
Will you have information or provide information on what kind of, I mean, I know we don't have one, fire extinguisher people should have in their homes?
Yes, actually one of our instructors will be there to show you how to use them and what they're used for and what the letters stand for.
Okay.
So it's pretty instructional.
And what we ought to have. Thanks.
This is all for the homeowner. If my firefighters don't know which one to grab, we're not doing something right. But this is all for the homeowner to know what they should have in their house.
Are you gonna send out a town email?
It is going, it was on Facebook, I think it got on Facebook, and it got on Backyards, I believe. These will be up in the stores tomorrow, and I would love to see y'all there. I would love to see a lot of people from the town here. This is their fire department. They need to come see what it's like. I think I'm done.
Any questions for Mark?
Thank you for all that you do.
Yep, thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Planning Commission report.
Please, oh, we do.
Please.
Oh, I thought he
We
said he
got-
didn't have a report.
No, he said he was letting him go first.
Everything's been calm out there. I was very pleased with the event this weekend with the traffic from was out here from 11 to 10 or 11 that night, and only stopped 2 cars. They was, like Mark said, was jumping the tracks, 53 and, I think the other one was like 42, 43, something like that. But other than that, traffic has been fine. I'm just waiting to see how it's gonna be, this upcoming weekend with the event next weekend as well. That's it.
Thank you very much. Any questions of Officer Morton?
Can I ask one more thing about the fire department? We're firemen, we have a Christmas tree, given to us to put up. We know how to put fires out, we don't know how to decorate a tree. We lit it and it looks terrible, so we're gonna ask if anybody has an extra ornament or something, or knows how to decorate a tree, come down and help us. Cause it looks, we didn't even put it out, it looks so bad.
When do you wanna decorate it?
I got snowman, I got him good, but,
When do you wanna decorate it?
before Saturday. I'd like to get it out, so the next day or so, if somebody wants to give me a call, I'll meet them down there and we can try and do something.
Okay. And bring some ornaments.
Yeah, we don't have any ornaments, we got lights, but we don't have any ornaments.
Drink some
Yeah.
popcorn.
I could run to the store, but I don't know what I'm buying.
Well,
I got a bunch.
yeah, I
There you
do.
I got some green and gold.
I do too, but I wonder if we ask people also to bring an ornament,
Well, you got, I'll bring it, I got it, then, yeah, if they want to, but I know I have.
that might help personalize it for the town, make it more in town.
Yeah, last year we purchased a snowman, we lit up for a snowman, we got a little tree inside. This year we expanded, we got a real tree, and so next year it's hard telling what we'll have Santa Claus out there. So, thank you.
The whole 9 yards.
Thank you, Commissioner Morton.
All right, well, there was two different things that were gone over during the planning commission. One is the property right over by To Market. They're wanting to put like a RV park of some sort there. And we deferred it to the next meeting because some of us wanna go kind of walk around it. And then once that goes, it doesn't come back to BOMA from what I understand, it will go to the BZA.
Board of Zoning Appeals.
Yes, for more study and approval from that. And then the other was the Allison annexation, which is on 269, it's the Johnson property on the right as you go out. For that, I think it's 14 acres of land. It would be passed down, the board unanimously did a unfavorable recommendation to the board, but when the board gets to this, I'll chime in some more things. And that would be it.
So, we got we got a change order. And just work back here.
Okay.
You know what that's all about? It's almost $2,000.
I didn't receive a change order on that, so I'm not sure, I'll have to find out, cause I didn't receive a change order. So I'll have to
About
take a look at it.
removing something, I don't, you know.
Bolsters or something.
Oh, that's actually not ordered. It shouldn't have been a change order.
That's what he said was.
It shouldn't have been a change order. It should have been, yeah, no, I'll call him and handle that before that, so just hold on to that. And actually, I've got chamber and historical stuff that kinda flip-flops. You wanna do part first, and then we come back in December and historical at the same time?
Well, you're up right now if you wanna go ahead.
Can we do both of them? Alright, so, yeah, so on that, what we were originally discussing, and then realized that it wasn't gonna work for us for multiple reasons, was whether or not we should put mulches at the ends, because that would eliminate trucks. We wouldn't have to worry about whether they could breathe. We would just stop them all together. The problem is that, we're still gonna need access back and forth in there. So, even if you guys had keys to it, that's the cafe's, handicap entrance. That's still the gas guy, so there's still a few things you're gonna have access that direction. So when we originally discussed it with him, talking about doing it, but it was not supposed to be a change order, it was really a discussion at that point. I think it was just supposed to be a quote. So just push that aside, because that was something we were gonna ask about, but now I think it needs to go away, because we can't do it. We have to have access in and out of there for other things, so we're just gonna have to rely on people to be smarter than us.
We found that out with the gas company.
Yeah, well, and like I said, even with Greg, he has no other access to the cafe without taking him to the back door. And they can't be unlocking those things and taking them down every time a customer comes in and needs to get wheelchair accessibility. So, put that off the side, and I'll take care of that. We've also been working with, sadly, engineers, about the quilt, and I actually, I did this for a reason. My brain, we all know, does not work well, so, I'm passing around, and I'm gonna read this stuff off to you, because that way I don't miss it or screw it up, and then you can actually recall it better, but, on the bottom paragraph, we're working with engineers and paint experts at Sherwin-Williams to find the, answer for the parking lot fiasco. That parking lot, that was supposed to be something that lasted us 15 years, it didn't last us 5 minutes. Partly because I think that it was not what they said it was as far as putting it down, and also they didn't expect it to be twisting and turning. It's, on the highway it's a little bit different. So they did refund our money finally for it, and now they're actually, coming up with another product that's supposed to be better than the paint. I just wanted to update on that because we're not ignoring it. We've been fighting for it. It took us a while just to get our money back on that project, which was thousands. So anyway, that's what's going on with the quilt. And then, I'm going up instead of down, because I'm gonna go chamber up and then come back down. The chamber of businesses are also, or the chamber of commerce, sorry, with the businesses are working with contractor Stacy Paris. She's been in town before, do several things, to install the new downspouts on the buildings from the Cafe to Webb Road. The chamber will work with Ms. Pierce to continue the downspout underground, to the raised flower beds, just like the rain garden was done behind the Elkins Museum. We can't start until the remaining sealant work is complete, and that's not part of the town's scope. That's all being, either the businesses and or the chamber are taking care of that, so that's not something that's falling back on town. As you can read here, it's caring individuals. We want to make sure that this is all taken care of. We want it to be aesthetically pleasing. We want we want everything to be as safe as possible back there as far as trip hazards and stuff. So all of this is being taken into consideration with the stores. It's part of the plan that was accepted by the historic as well as the stores some time ago. So when you look at the commission, which I have this for you as well, and this was, you guys should have a copy of this multiple times, and you should also have it in emails, but I'm gonna give you another master plan on the alley. That's the original one that started in 22 with the engineer and architect, sorry, with the architect. So you'll have a copy of that as well. And then we are trying to all work together with the town and with the chamber and with the historic to make sure that, any traffic or whatever we have problems with back here, like the signage, you brought that up before I had a chance to. So, we wanted to kind of work with you on that to see what we needed to do or how we needed to handle anything if we needed to. And there will be another enhancement grant opening up later this year. If we're willing to make another investment on that at budget time, then the entire alley can be completed at that point. Outside of that on chamber, the only thing I can say is we're rolling into our, Christmas events, 2 more left. Santa will be in town, all 3. Gingerbread house making contest is Saturday, so put your gingerbread house in there, we need those. I don't have anything else for chamber right this minute. Jumping back into historic, is that okay? If I go ahead and go to historic?
Okay, could
Or,
you,
wait.
just,
Sorry.
gingerbread house?
Yeah,
That
gingerbread
went
house.
right over my head, I don't know what we're talking about.
Chamber of Commerce, Christmas. I said we also have our Chamber of Commerce Christmas coming up this Saturday. We have our gingerbread house competition again.
Competition, thank you.
Every year, every second Saturday is the gingerbread house competition. But that's all the chamber stuff. You wanna wait, any questions on the chamber? Historic? Sorry. The alley grant portion of has been completed. The paperwork's been turned in, reimbursement and approval. Obviously the sealant work is still remaining because we're having unseasonably cool weather a little earlier than usual, so, it's kind of put a halt on that sealant. We've got to reach certain temperature to finish that. But everything else we made deadline on that would get us started on our reimbursements. So that was all taken care of, and thank you for getting that handled as quickly as it was. Once the weather permits, like I said, we'll get that taken care of, and then they're gonna make sure everything is smoothed out at the end, make sure that it's not again, a trip hazard of any kind, so that'll all be taken care of. As far as the alley itself, There has been lots and lots of questions. I keep getting asked the same questions over and over again about what we're doing. It is in that I just brought you again, but I know town has it. I'm not really sure why it has been such a point of contention for us to have, not with you.
Well, no, I
Not with
can
you. I
tell
meant with
you
the
why.
townsfolk.
In my opinion, historic should be coming to every alderman meeting. One, because we allot funds for historic. Two, because any project, if you come every month and you say, this month, this is being done, or this month, we anticipate this, then when somebody calls us, we're prepared to answer.
My rebuttal on that would be, we don't have many projects. We have very few projects. And also, my work schedule is usually in the evenings, so like right now I have events, but I'm here.
So, well,
but-
you can designate someone.
I can.
To
We
report.
have limited people. Greg is one of them. Anyway, Greg and Tori is also working at the hall, which of course is a problem sometimes too. But my point being is that there has been somebody here since we started this project back up. It's been myself or Julie Beasley. We've been coming back and forth since this project started to happen, since we got it running again. So we have been coming back and forth.
Okay, why did none of us know zip about what it was gonna look like?
Again,
When it was-
those reports, what you have right there in your hand, that's been at town hall. It's emailed, it has been passed around
That's
so
not
many
the-
times.
That's not the same as somebody coming in and saying, okay, on this date, we intend to do this, and handing each alderman a master plan.
Okay, when, I didn't hand them a master plan when I came back in because it has changed 3 times.
So is
But
there,
when you weren't here that day, we did have a lot of conversation about it.
is there a current plan?
The current plan, all we did was adjust what Ronnie and Mark asked us to do. And so we made their adjustments.
I know, but
So no, I don't have something other than, that was the original master plan. It's done, the project is done. So there's not anything future to discuss. I brought in paperwork when I was here the last time, and that paperwork, everybody here should have it. Again, you weren't in here, I was here, I gave out lots of information that day.
I know, but that's,
Look, behind you, she
that's,
has it right there.
yeah, that's one day, and
But that is the plan, is what I'm telling you.
in my opinion.
I gave it out.
Someone from historic, if the town is going to give you money every month, just as they do beautification, somebody from historic needs to come every alderman meeting
Well, we will make that effort, absolutely.
and
But it wasn't
say-
not given.
and
You just
say
weren't attending it that day.
this, well, the fact that it was one day
No,
from
Betsy,
23 to
No.
when?
no, none of that. We weren't coming every month to tell you we're not doing anything, because that's what was happening. We're not doing anything, because nothing could be decided on. We had multiple things that stopped us, so the only information I would've come in and said was, we're doing nothing. Until it started back up. When it started back
You
up,
can
and we
come-
actually put it back on the board again, where we had a contractor and we were working on stuff, that's when we started coming back to the meetings.
You can come and say, this is what's holding us up, this is what we anticipate.
Well, then I apologize. I can't go
I'm
backwards,
sorry.
I can go forward, that's all I can do.
Did y'all know what was going on?
Can you email a copy of the,
You were here the day that I handed all that information out, Tina has it in her hand.
If that's all.
So that's been months ago,
One day.
but it's been months ago.
Somebody should come every month.
And I have been here more than once, but since it
And
started.
especially, it's not just that historic gets money every month. The
Once a year.
town voted to give
Once a
you.
year, not once a month.
But well, I mean, you spend it every month, I apologize. How much did the town fork out? $25,000?
Which they signed off
Now
on.
we've forked out $50,000.
Yeah, and 25,000.
Supposed to be 35,000.
35, yeah, 25. So it's only
Okay,
$15,000.
When all the dust settles.
15,000.
15,000. Again, if money is gonna be allocated by the Board of Aldermen, I think it behooves any
I'm
group
not disagreeing.
to come every month.
Like I said, I cannot go backwards, I can only go forward. I was having conversation though, with town hall, just not in this meeting.
But
when I was available.
But the fact that none of us knew
That's not true.
to
Not none
any
of us
great
knew.
extent,
I understood that there was a project, but at that
that's it.
time,
Yes,
I
that's
didn't
it.
understand the project.
I was gonna say, you understood a lot of it because
Yeah.
You understood there was a project.
Yes, and
You
that they
didn't
were
know
waiting
on
because.
when it was anticipated to begin, when it was anticipated.
Yes, but because they had holds up and they did communicate that was going on, that they were having.
I knew there was a project, but I didn't know when it was gonna start.
we didn't know when it was gonna
Yeah,
start.
they didn't know either
Because
because.
you guys kept telling us we couldn't do certain things. Mark would come in and say that doesn't work because OSHA says. So we just kept having to go back to a contractor and back to a contractor. So, but when it finally came, I had you guys outside with the contractors before we ever started projects, so that you guys could sign off on it. So it wasn't that nobody had knowledge of it, it just wasn't in this meeting.
Well, this meeting to me is imperative because this, we represent the town and the town come.
Okay.
Also, how many bids did you take?
We tried to get, we really wanted 4. We tried to get 3, we had 2. One of them pulled a total no show on us, so we, as usual.
Well, that's
couldn't
not
get people out.
unusual in
Yeah.
bids. I
No,
mean,
it's not.
that happens. So who is the other bidding?
It was, gosh, that's in that paperwork that I gave you guys, I don't even remember the name of it. This is why I write things down so that I can read them, because my recall is crap.
Well,
It's
I'm
in the
old,
original
so-
paperwork, so I'd have to go back and look it up.
I'll be honest, when I got a call saying, have you seen the pollinator garden? On which many of us worked our heads off and worked to maintain it. And, it was a mess. They had dumped gravel into the beds, they'd moved stones.
Did they rectify that though?
Hold up. So I went down and waved my arms and screamed and hollered. And got permission from Ronnie to call Matthews at Newview. After discussion, and the initial response was, we're not responsible for anything. We don't have to do it. But after we talked about it, he agreed that, he would correct all the damage he had done. And ultimately, he and Bob and somebody named Brad who works there, they put their heads together and decided, okay, this makes sense. But his initial response was, read the contract, we're not responsible for anything. And, but we remained calm and sorted it out. I don't wanna see us have any future project in which we all feel ignorant. That's my thought. Because it would affect how we vote for any future, forking out money for any future
I
project.
understand. It was voted on when it happened. It was signed off by your mayor.
I don't think we're on the same.
Let me defend the mayor.
I'm just saying, it's not as if there was no knowledge. This is, everybody's throwing it at me like I snuck this project in on town, and that's not what happened.
You didn't keep us in, the bottom line
And
is,
again, I can't go
on
backwards,
a,
but moving forward, I will.
thank you.
That's all I can say.
But we learn from things in the past. We don't just forget the past, we learn, okay, this is the way it was handled that kinda had people concerned, and so life is a learning experience.
The town has been, I don't even know what the word is, less than pleasant to the contractors. The reason he probably said to you, I'm not responsible, was because he had, and I am not exaggerating, they called us and said, if you can't get these people to stop yelling at us, we can't get this work done. To the point, Lisa was walking out there and telling certain people out there, you gotta leave them alone. stop asking them 50,000 questions because the project has started. These are members of town, again, so they were probably a little bit irritated at that point.
That's why.
Yeah,
A
well,
lack of knowledge.
no, I'm talking about people in town. I'm not
Yeah,
talking
a
about
lack-
people that don't show up to these meetings ever.
A lack of knowledge is very disturbing.
I get
And
what you're saying.
if the board, if the governing unit is informed, we can inform the residents. And I think it'd be a great idea on future projects if pictures were posted in town hall, if something like this was posted in town hall. I just think it needs to be very visible, very open. Oh, I see what you're doing. Or if somebody comes and complains, say, oh, go to town hall and look at.
You have, at least they started a project, and Ronnie has or actually Tina, we know has a copy of the.
I'm talking about
the
future
refurb.
projects.
I understand, but if they need to know anything else, it's right there. It was given out to the meeting, and they do have it. They have the new one.
I would like to say that the contract that we were handed was a little one-sided, the way I looked at it. And,
But nobody said anything to me about that until after they had broken ground back there. That's when you called me at Webb on Friday, right before Webb, when we were doing load-in. That's when people were questioning it. I've been coming here and talking about it for 3 months, but nobody questioned it until the day they broke ground.
but the day I first saw the contract was, here, you gotta sign it, we got a deadline.
There still could have been questions at that moment, there was none. Again, that contract had been in hand for weeks before anybody called me and asked me
I couldn't
questions.
get Matthew to come over here and talk to us, so we went over and
He
talked to
didn't
him.
refuse, I told you that day, he didn't refuse, I didn't get in touch with him, you asked me to get in touch with him, and I told you
Well, I called him.
the day that you called me though, you
I called
said.
him.
I know, and he said he was gonna come here at 1 o'clock,
So,
but then you were at his office when he walked in. But again, that wasn't on Matthew, you asked me to call him, and I couldn't get in touch with him,
all right,
that was that simple, he didn't refuse you at all. I never talked to him about it.
he must have refused me then, cause I tried to get in touch with him, and he wouldn't call him back.
I don't know. I can't, that relationship, I don't know.
I've known Matthew a long time, and Nathan and all the rest of the family, good family. And, apparently they do pretty good work, they stay busy all the time. So, and the alley looks pretty good, from what I can see.
It looks fantastic.
So.
When the bugs get finished,
Just
like,
keep it that way.
I think in the future, we as aldermen have to be more hands-on with any grant proposal.
I agree.
Okay, thank you.
I agree with that.
We just have to all work together,
Yeah.
all work together.
I'm always available for questions.
I know.
Nobody asked me.
We'll just all try to do better.
But we also got another thing where we had to replace the gas service back there, and that cost us almost $2,000. And, you know, you can think about this, whether we ought to divide it up 3 ways, 3 people would get fuel off of it. And we'll talk about it next month's meeting, if you wanna do that. But, I think that should be considered.
Oh, can I ask Mark something? Mark, when you fill that hole, can we have the rock
What hole?
in the pollinator garden? You said you were gonna fill it.
Yes.
Can we have the rock? You know, there's a big rock in it. Do you need that to stay in there to hold pipe down?
No.
Can we have it beautification? We can always use rock.
What are the 3 businesses that are taken from the town?
I'm sorry, what?
The
What are the
3
3 businesses about?
Billy,
Us and Billy in the coffee shop.
we would
What
love
about the
that.
beauty parlor? That's not bad.
And as I mentioned a while ago, we're having to make, a way for the UPG to fill the tanks up. And they said they would not bring their truck in there on that alley. Unless we give them a hold harmless agreement, where if they damage it, they're not responsible for it.
Oh,
They
don't
don't have
do
the
that.
long pipe,
Oh, yeah, they
Don't do that.
You know, having to pull it all the way from the coffee shop, all the way around to Billy's tank.
From the other side.
And the other day, they got him on the entrance to that, the stage area back there. He just backed in just a little bit on the grass, but he's not allowed to get on dirt. It's gotta be a paved gravel or paved area.
Does his truck weigh more than 30,000 pounds?
I meant to call him today, and I didn't do it, I was gonna find it out.
It doesn't.
But,
Straight-
it's a
straight axle.
truck.
Yeah.
Yeah, you already asked, right?
Yeah.
But I'll
That came from
find
the
that out, and we'll see
Yeah.
where we need to go with it.
I mean, I don't think, they bring mine out and there's
So weird.
on the road all the way, so.
He can. We did ask them that question.
Yeah.
They said they could accommodate it, no problem.
And he has so far gone to
Any
the B
further
thing
questions on
from outside.
that? Parks and Rec Committee report?
We had one pavilion rental in November. We've also revised the amphitheater rental contract. It was a rather old version of it, and it still had some COVID language in it. So we stripped some of that stuff out and revised it a little bit. And we've made that change. We've been talking or looking at some providers for our camera system out there. We need a new service provider for that, and also we've taken back the web page, but we're also looking maybe getting somebody to help us maintain the web page as well. But it's under our control, at least for now anyway. The beautification committee is talking to us about putting some raised garden beds out at the park, and we're gonna talk about that at the next park board meeting, so I think that would be a very nice addition out there. Tree board, 5 of our members attended the Tennessee Urban Forestry Conference in Chattanooga last month. Very informative, some real good information there. We learned a lot about how to care for the trees and trim them and proper ways to plant them and things like that. And got some ideas for things, some other things we can do at the park. We had a tour of some of the Chattanooga parks. Very nice, very informative. We had I think I mentioned this last time, but we had a tree nursery that we actually had out at the park where we had a number of trees in it. And they have been there for quite a number of years and gotten fairly sizable. And we were able to relocate 12 of those trees from the tree nursery and replace some of the trees that had perished out of the park. So that came in very useful. The Tree City USA application is due at the end of December, and Jim has been working on it diligently, so we should have that in plenty of time. And then also at the last park board meeting, we increased our budget for the fireworks display next year. Since it's the big, 250th celebration, we thought we'd up it a little bit. So we raised it, I think, from 7,500 to 9,000. So it should be nice.
Any questions of Mr. Smith? Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Historical Committee?
One for done.
Done. Beautification Committee?
As Craig said, our vice chairman of beautification and a member who's worked in raised beds in the past will be meeting on the 15th with the park board to try and see if we can come up with something that will be a big benefit to the town. That's our hope. We will be purchasing a new cigarette receptacle. We noticed that it was kind of like that, and somebody had to stand it up. We'll see if we can find a better one. We talked about the need for, how there's on the pole at the end of the street, there's a sign, that urges people to come down to the ice cream parlor. We talked about, and I've talked to Heather in Historic about adding some signs in a way that's cute to, indicate what else is down there. A lot of times when I'm working in the beds downtown, it's funny, somebody will poke their head around and say, what's down there? You know, I think the signs would be, I think we can do them. Heather gave me the name of the guy who did Billy's signs, so we have them kind of in keeping, and beautification would pay for them, and it would identify the other stores down there. Kind of like the way you say, you know, New Zealand's this way, you know, that kind of thing. We've had a request to designate a handicap parking space on that side.
Around here.
Yeah, you know, where it's all parallel parking. If would it be possible to designate one of them as handicap? Perhaps, we kind of thought, you know how there are two of them next to Lisa's building? Two parking places. We kind of thought probably the back one would make it more convenient for somebody who's handicapped.
Or would it be better to move it up toward the middle of the buildings?
In front of the restrooms.
Well, the only thing about that, the only reason we asked about these is sometimes when you've got it in the middle, a car behind and a car in front, he's in there, and it's not, that parking place in the middle is not quite as big as it should be. So that's the reason they thought, well, you could, kind of, since you've got that place that's not parking, at the alley, you've got a little space to maneuver. That's what we came up with, but that's our recommendation.
Down here next, closer to the power pole,
Well,
to the corner or?
the one closer to the alley,
Okay, yeah.
so somebody can get out, go in the coffee
Right,
shop,
okay.
Wheelchair
get out,
accessible
go in the
too.
restroom,
Side door.
that kind of thing. Is that possible?
That would,
Do we need to have, when the time comes, do we need to have a,
probably need to pass some kind of motion on that
okay,
to make it official.
I would hate to take from that business though, that would take up one of her parking spaces already to get into there. Went back by the fire hall, where, not the middle one, but closer to where the restrooms are, because mainly that's what they're gonna really go for.
yeah, that's
If,
kind
you
of
know,
what we
so
were
I would hate to
thinking.
take up too much, she's already limited at that business space already.
Mhm.
So if anything, put it back further. So, but, yeah, I think we need to look at that a little bit more. We're already limited on parking, and not that I'm trying to say anything against handicap, you know, in the front of the shop, but the businesses are limited as it is for people that can get into parking spaces here too, so I think we need to look at that a little bit.
Do we wanna defer it till everybody can go look at parking spaces?
We could bring it back at January meeting.
Okay. And I very much wanna get with Mark. Mark, you and Sheila Joe, can beautification get with y'all, in January to work on the bathroom grant? And, I've been doing a lot of research on, you can't keep anything from being vandal-proof, but on cameras, on, fixtures, on wall coatings, that kind of thing. So when we put our heads together, we can, cause I want us to really get a good grant proposal, and then we can all harass our representatives.
They just put new toilet seats on them that we need,
New fixtures.
fixtures bad.
Yes, and ones that are not as easy to,
Yep.
aesthetically pleasing, but more, vandal proof. Okay, thanks.
I have not had a problem with that since the cameras went back working, so.
Oh, good. And, if you and Sheila Joe will put your heads together, I'll be gone the 5th through the 12th of January. But any other time in January, just let me know what works for y'all. Because that's kind of our big desire and beautification, to have a good back.
You added some people to that committee.
Yes, Carrie French, Laura Causey. Oh, don't ask me these hard, Sheila Joe, don't ask me these hard questions. Like, who do I meet with? Yeah, those are the new ones. And then Bob is our co-chair, and then, but I think that's good. And what they decided to do in the alley was the 3 men put their heads together and they moved the stones that are under the bell buckle mural. They moved them out to butt into the cobblestones. They felt that would give stability to that edge of the edging material that's done for the cobblestones. That adds another foot to that bed. I told Matthew, don't bother taking out the gravel, that'll make a good foundation. And we'll, as soon as we can get in there on the, area, we'll dump mulch and compost in there so that we can, add plants. And that, of course, that extended the main pollinator garden by the same amount, so we'll have to be coming up with stones. If anybody has any big rocks, we would love to have them. Donate, because we'll have to fill the space, fill it in. But ultimately, when they get everything adjusted, people will again be able to sit on them when they're here for events without disturbing them.
Betsy, you might wanna holler at Joe Pagello, Stone Depot. He might be willing to donate some rocks, maybe, I don't know.
We're thinking in terms of foundation stones, those that are tall enough. Actually, the town has some foundation stones. Maybe we could talk about that. Thank you.
Mark called about the weight of the gas truck. He said it was right at 30,000 pounds loaded, fully loaded. So it should hold. We'll work on that. Arts Council. Friends of Historic Belleville Schools.
We had a bank balance as of 11/30/25 of $70,138.48. Year to date for the year of 2025, we've raised $40,128.06. In-kind donations since the inception in 2022 have been $50,085.94. We had our third bylaws meeting on the 24th. Hopefully that will be our final meeting. This will be reviewed in its entirety and likely considered at our next regular board meeting on January the 5th. We received one bid to harden the building. We'll be considering that on January the 5th. We'll need the crepe myrtles trimmed back so that fascia can be accessed at that point. The last item I have is I want to request BOMA to authorize the Friends of Historic Belleville Schools to jointly apply for the TDAC grant again next calendar year. If you recall, last year, it was I think January the 10th, that we did a pre-application submitted a letter, and y'all submitted a letter, and that's what started that process. But I'd like to get your permission, approval to go ahead and authorize that so that we're not looking at a 5-day window from your next meeting until that happens. Give you 30 days to think about it. If you recall, I shared that last month, so you had 30 days to forget it.
So you're asking us to vote on that?
Please. Just the pre-authorization
I
level.
wasn't here last month, so.
And this is the matching grant,
Yes, that's the goal.
and how much is the match?
The goal we're gonna shoot for is about $800,000.
But how much will y'all have to come up?
There'll have to be about $400,000 come up with.
Whoa.
Okay. It's out of my pocketbook. Anything else, Mr. Mark?
No.
Thank you very much. Any other questions of Mark? Mayoral updates, congratulate this lady here. She finished her CMFO training and passed the final test. So she's certified now. And, Mark's already mentioned that. December 15th, 6 o'clock, the EVAC committee will meet here to, come up with a evacuation plan for the town, and, y'all are invited.
When's that?
And I guess that's.
6
all.
PM the 15th.
Monday night,
Will that be here or at the fire hall?
It'll be here.
Here?
moving along, no old business, no new business, planning commission. Allison's, the Johnson Farm, a recommendation on annexation. It was, I'll turn that over to planning commission.
Okay, so we did do a negative response to that because I think, am I not right, was it $352,700 or so? Is that right?
That is just for the sewer manhole.
Just for the sewer manhole that they would have to do. Lots of costs going into that. If they're annexed in, they will have to be able to get 45 water taps.
45 taps.
So that would be 45 lots, in other words. So we were just, I'm not against, expansion to the town and everything, but I don't think that our town, with all the different things we need with water and sewer, that we can afford to do something like this at this time. Not saying that it couldn't be something for the future.
Would it have, it sounds like 45 residences would have a big impact on the water and sewer system, wouldn't it?
Yeah, we would have to, if we supply them water, they're in the city, they're close enough, we would have to supply them.
Mr. Allison did offer to pre-buy water taps and all, so I'm not sure if he's going to do it right away, but that would be more funding for the town, I guess, but he did offer that, and whatever, he did offer some funding, or at least elaborate that he might, and from what I understand, if we were to go that route, we could, set things up to where if he were to get these and not do anything with it, but pass it on to someone else, that we could lock things in. Am I making sense?
Yeah, but
The plan of services.
The plan of services,
yeah,
yes.
it's still 45 new houses.
45 is still.
Well, I just wanted to give you all the
Oh,
information.
no, thank you.
I talked with, Ted, the attorney, and just for your information, he said there could be a document drawn up about the plan of services if Mr. Allison was agreeable to put them in, that his cost, that the document would follow the land, from now on. And if he chose to sell it, it would still follow it, and the new person would have to develop it at his cost, so. But that's just for your information.
But that's if we annex it.
Correct.
Okay, that was my question.
Can I add something on this?
Yes, sir.
I think we are at a point where we need to have a committee to do a study and figure out where we wanna grow, how we wanna grow it, and how it's gonna be funded.
Absolutely.
I think that needs to be, and just an ongoing thing for a while. I really, just to have it without knowing what's gonna happen, but it's not what's gonna happen, it's what could happen down the road.
Rather than piecemeal, have
Yes.
And I think that water model was a big part of getting that done. And of course, that fell through because the meter supplier couldn't supply the meters. So anyway, we're still looking at doing that to find out where our water is going, you know, where the most of it goes. So we determine how we can sell taps and
And
still
is-
have everybody's pressure and everything.
is part of the study also to determine where it absolutely does not need to go?
Yes.
Okay.
How we can bring water into town, where we cannot bring water into town, what can expand, what can't expand. There are some lines that were put in years and years ago that were put in too small, and now we're looking at having to replace them, but that's just the way it all worked back then.
That'd be super helpful for that committee too.
There will be a vote on this
Correct.
at the proper time. G, options for access to their tanks located in the alley, I think we discussed that already, and unless somebody else wants to speak for or against it, or got a better idea. Seeing none. Public input.
Yeah, sure.
Go back to that.
You can
I
have
have-
more than 2
So
seconds.
for public input about what Mark was talking about, planning commission on this, I would just like to say right now as a resident, I don't know if this puts any bearing on it, but 45 houses, 45 potential houses, or even a subdivision coming into this town, changes everything. I do it by show of hands, just in this little crowd right now. Most of us would not want that. So I don't know if that puts any bearing on what the vote is, but I don't know a soul in this town that wants this town to change for that. Not one person. And I would love to see somebody tell me they would love it.
Completely not personal, it's just.
I know, no, I'm saying
That,
that would be, if the town has any input on whether that passes or not, if the residents have any input on that, I would hate to see what this town looks like with a subdivision right there.
Well, that's why you always want residents to come.
They never do, but I can tell you right now that it will get around. I will make sure everybody knows.
the committee would take that, and
Next door to all that.
that would help us figure out where we can grow, where we don't wanna grow.
Outside these town limits.
Yeah, absolutely. But we
Outside
still,
these town limits.
okay,
I-
here's
I'm not
one
the
thing
only
we
one
gotta
here.
look at.
Yeah.
We've got retired people in town that has been here all their life. We have to raise their prices to help pay for the infrastructure, which is not fair to them.
It's
We
not
need
fair,
that
we are also
committee.
the lowest taxes in counties and counties wide. So it kind of balances in my opinion.
Yeah, it does to some point. But that committee will tell us
You gotta come up with.
if somebody wants to build a house,
That's the thing,
maybe there's an
infrastructure.
impact fee, maybe there's not, maybe something has to help with the infrastructure, and it doesn't need to be a 90-year-old lady that's been paying that for years.
But at what damage and what cost later on? Like what 45 houses
I'm not
could
saying we
potentially
need
do?
45 houses.
I'm just
I'm
saying,
saying
if it's
we
a
need to know
potential.
where we can do
If it's a
that.
potential, That's my point, if it's potential. I gotta go, cause I've got an event, I know y'all can talk here in a
Hey,
minute.
Mr. Lovett.
Thank you.
Mr. Mayor and Board, we already have a problem with speeders on Maple Street. And way, 45 houses would bring way too much more traffic, including speeding traffic. So that's just the first thing. And, you know, we come here about 10 years ago from Murfreesboro to get out of the rat race.
I agree.
The 45 houses here would be, you know, you kind of getting right back into it. So,
Just the water alone.
I would like to see the board not vote for that, vote that down, and, I like Mark's idea of forming a committee. Let's, if we're gonna grow, let's see where we can, where we have potential to grow. But with what Mr. Allison's talking about, it's already kind of a mess over there, where they started it,
It definitely is.
and they haven't finished it. And you got a paved road
I can walk.
and a gravel road, and Mr. Mayor, I spoke to you about this when they started, and I said, who's taking care of that road? You said, I don't know. I said, is that a county?
It just brings
Is that a-
water into
is that a-
everyone's yard.
County road now.
Nobody even thought about how that change of that landscaping was gonna flood out their yard.
Well, there's a lot to consider, but 45 houses, that's a bit much. And originally it was what, how many lots? 5 or 6, 7 lots developed for Johnson Place originally, and now we're talking about 45.
And
You guys just annexed this in up here for Mr. Allison, for the town, and now I understood, 2 meetings ago, we were here, and I understood that now he has torn the house down and sold the property, and there's gonna be 2 houses built there. So, we see where this is going, so.
Let's make sure we understand, we don't know that there's 45 houses, we're saying it could be 45 houses. Just so we're not putting it out there that there's gonna be.
Bedford County has such a water problem now. I mean, look at Shelbyville, the way it's going, and I'm all about the river. We have a beautiful river, and it's losing its water. It's sad. I love to kayak it. I mean, it's just, we were in the National Geographic, our river. It's just getting destroyed.
Well, let's go back to that for a minute. Let's say there's 20 homes. That's still, to me, that's way too many in that area. So, my opinion, I don't know if that counts for anything, but.
We appreciate your opinion.
Thank you. Anybody else?
Save the duck.
I've been designated to represent, and you have this paper, a group of citizens. And let me make it clear, this is a long-term goal. This isn't something anybody's asking the town to do right now. That couldn't happen because, let me read this, and it's a goal for the future. I know that. Make Bell Buckle famous as the only municipality in America in which the elected and appointed officials bind themselves explicitly, proudly, emphatically to an absolutely strict devotion to total honesty, no matter what, when conducting town business. No reluctance, no hesitation, no equivocation, no ambiguity, no partial truth. The truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. And this isn't a vote. Would everybody in the room who supports the general idea of honesty in town government, please put your hand up. Okay, wonderful. I'm going to ask that the minutes show that everybody on the board did. And then on the second page, there's some definitions. I want to point out the first 8 words of the Tennessee State Constitution, and everybody has a copy, that all power is inherent in the people. Now that's the Constitution, and I think everybody, well, no, you didn't. Well, you did swear an oath to support it, but anyway, we won't get into that tonight. And then finally, Psalm 101, verse 7, he that worketh deceit shall not dwell within my house. He that telleth lies shall not tarry in my sight. And then 2 Corinthians 13:7, ye should do that which is honest. And I'm very happy that we appear to have 100% support, including the board, for a goal, not just second, a goal of official, not personal honesty. When Aunt Matilda, who's 90, dyes her hair purple, you don't have to be honest when she asks you, does it look good? You know, but this is for official town matters. Thank you very much, Mr. Mayor. I might have gone past my 3 minutes, imagine that.
The bell didn't go
But
off.
I wouldn't be the only one tonight. Betsy's my cousin.
But, I want to thank you for the copy of the Constitution.
You're welcome,
Appreciate
and that's
that.
brand new. And one more thing, real quick. Tom, do you know what part of the Constitution some people who swore an oath to support it might not support? I'll bring you Article 9. Now it's Christmas. Don't study the Constitution between now and the new year. But you might want to take a peek at Article 9 and ask, do I really support that? Okie dokie. Thank you, folks. And Merry Christmas.
Happy New Year. Anybody else want to speak? Public input. Thank you very much. We're going to the meeting. I'm going to ask for a motion to suspend the reading of the minutes. We haven't been doing that, but I think we need to, and, just do it.
So moved.
Second,
I'll second it.
any discussion? All in favor, aye? Opposed, like sign? Motion to approve the minutes from previous month.
I'll make a motion to approve it.
Mr. Tom,
And Tom
second.
seconds.
Any discussion, any corrections or additions? All in favor, aye? Opposed, like sign? So ordered. Financial reports, everybody had a chance to look over where the money goes, where the money comes from. And,
Move we approve the financial report.
move to approve the financial, to a second.
I'll second it.
Any further discussion? All in favor, say aye. Opposed, like sign? So ordered. And water and sewer reports, fire and police reports, planning, we're going down, new business. We'll defer the motion to defer the parking space issue for the handicap. Okay. Motion to authorize the application for the Friends of Historic Bell Buckle School. Is any, what's the feeling of the board? Is there a motion or anything?
I've got a question. None of that 400,000 falls on the town, does it?
Not yet.
What do you mean, not yet?
You've not committed anything.
Okay.
So this is just to apply for it only.
That's correct.
No other.
That's correct.
Okay.
We're not committed.
That's a good thing to verify though.
I make a motion to approve their, request to apply.
Motion made, is there a second?
I'll second that.
You want to second it too?
Well, I think Tina said it
Oh,
first.
okay.
It's all.
Motion made, and seconded, any discussion? All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Opposed, like sign? So ordered. I think that gets us down to the new business, the annexation recommendation. What's the pleasure of the board on that?
I make a motion that we don't approve that.
Okay? You make a motion to leave it as a negative recommendation from the.
Yes, I'm sorry if I didn't say that.
Okay.
To accept the recommendation.
All right. And we got a second?
Tom seconded it.
Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, like sign? So ordered. And what other about the tanks, I'll check on that and bring it back to the board. So, that covers it, I believe. There a motion to adjourn.
What about my signs?
What about your signs?
Did I get approval to get signs for Maple High and Abernathy? And,
I thought we already had that approved.
Well,
we just didn't have the verbiage approved, I think, that's
Oh,
what
you
it was.
just need the verbiage, okay. We
For
need-
the alley, I agree, we can put
We'll get the alley, you know,
load limit and,
Load
no,
limit.
no semis, and then for the streets, we'll just put no tractor trailers.
Because they can't get through there on High Street.
They get hung on High Street,
Yeah.
we've had three of them this year already.
we have one go all the way out the end of High Street and down by Danny Sane.
Yeah, that's right in front of my house.
That's crazy.
I'm like, I don't,
Yeah.
What's he smoking?
Motion about it, or is it already?
If you wanna make a motion to, approve the signage and all the others that we had, so it would be proper, I think.
Okay, I'll make that motion.
Second, any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, like sign. So ordered, motion adjourned.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
Second.
I'll second.
All in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed.
oh, I'd love to have a